See, it's thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And here it is. And it's ugly, but that's okay. All right. Here's the thing about Photoshop. Familiarize yourself with the workspace. Photoshop does many things that you will never ever need to do. So we're going to blow them off.
Mm-hmm.
And set up these things to display with all we need to mess around with.
Okay.
This top is the menu.
Okay.
You're familiar with many of the
Mm-hmm.
pull-down menus. What I call this second shelf
Mm-hmm.
is the tool options. Wait a minute for that. The third shelf is the, excuse me, the name of the file that you have open. And you can, let's open another one. And we'll put, we'll put, oh, come on, make up your mind. We'll put, I'll have it going. And, okay, this one. And it shows up as the next tab, you see?
Mm-hmm.
And you can click on them, and
go
it
back
goes
and
to
forth.
the other ones.
Okay.
So, that's all the top. These menu things, you can't turn them off, so you just leave them up there.
Gotcha.
Okay. Over here on the left is the toolbar. Let's click it and move it up a little. Oh, we'll just move it all the way right here. And I'm even going to do this little arrow thing and make a double row of it. Makes it shorter and stuff. When you open a photo in Photoshop, it means you're going to do something to it. You're going to edit it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, in order to do that, you use tools.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the tools look like things you are familiar with, like a paintbrush. But basically, here's the text and zoom.
Is this a stamp?
Yeah, it's one of the
stamp?
coolest tools there is. Rubber
Okay.
clone stamp.
Okay.
And the other ones, you don't have a clue. Okay, there's a lot of them on here that you have to search for maybe for a long time. So, we're going to clear this out and make it the way we want.
Okay.
I just learned this recently.
Okay.
Edit, down to arrow, toolbar. And this is what we do when we first start Photoshop for ourselves and
Establish your toolbox.
set it all up, set up our desk. Things over here that are already here in the existing, we're going to take all the things that we don't want to show right now and move them over to this other side. Pen tool, we don't need that. And I put a lot of new tools on here that I didn't understand that I wanted to learn about.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't need that. And we don't need that. Of course, I can get them back anytime I want. Don't need that. And
So this is like you're taking the tools and putting them on your desk, and this
Yeah.
is your toolbox for later.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. So that's all we need. We go done. Now it's nice and short. Okay. So you pick up the tools and you use them to, do things to the image. So let's go through what each one of these does.
Good.
First, and I can't make this any bigger. I can't make the toolbar a little bigger. I wish I
I
could.
can see it up there.
Okay. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
because you're
it's big.
looking up there. Okay. This one right here, well, I don't want to tell you about that yet.
Okay.
This one, this dotted lines in a square,
Yes.
when I hold it, my mouse down on it, it comes out in a fly out menu that says, do you want to make a rectangle or an ellipse? So we want to make a rectangle, so we just click on it like that. And we come over here to the image. See, you can see my cursor there, the little crosshairs. And since I've got it on rectangular, I hold my mouse down and I draw a box.
Okay.
Over here, it's telling me what size that box is right
Okay.
now. So when I do that, I unclick, and it's got a box, it's moving. We call that the crawling ants.
Oh, okay.
It means that this is selected.
Uh-huh.
If you were using Microsoft Word, you wanted to do something to just one word or something, you select it. You
Okay.
highlight it.
Right.
And nothing else in the whole
Okay.
thing is affected.
Okay.
Same thing we're doing in here. So I can take this selection area and I can put all the tools on it and stuff, and it only affects what is selected.
I see.
For instance, I'll use the brush tool. Come over here and I click on it, and I come over here, you see my little circle, that's the size of my paintbrush. I come down here in the selection, I come out here out of the selection, and I start, this is supposed to be making a brush mark.
Right.
No, only when you get inside the selection
Gotcha.
does it then start to work.
Okay.
Now, one undo, the last step that you did, I'm going to hit Control Z.
Oh, okay.
Takes away the last thing that I did.
Okay.
And so I can take the, let me zoom up by clicking the magnifying glass, and I click and click. If I want to zoom down, I hold down the Alt button and I click, and you see the icon has turned to a little minus sign. I click on it the same way and it zooms out.
Okay.
So we'll zoom back up again. Always make sure that you're zoomed up well enough so you can see the dang stuff.
Got it.
Okay. I'm gonna do something like this tool that looks like an eraser is an eraser tool. And I'll click on it, come over here. I see that's awful big, that it's going to erase, and see, you know, there it goes like that. Undo that.
Alt
Up
Z.
here, yeah, Control Z.
Control Z.
And then on a Mac, it's Command Z.
Okay.
Control, Command, back and forth. Okay, now, you see this second shelf that I said was the options that I'll tell you about in a minute? This is the options for that tool. You see it's got eraser tool, size of the brush, if I want it to act like a brush, how opaque or transparent I want it to be, and so on like that. I switch to another tool, and it gives me the options for that tool. So it switches back and forth. What do you want to do with the brush tool? What do you want to do with the eraser tool? And you can see on my cursor, when I hover over something, it tells me what that tool is and what it does. Okay, so I take the eraser tool and I'll set its options. And the brush size, I'll put it to I'll click over here, 29 pixels. And so I come over here and I erase it, and it's much smaller. Now, I'm still holding my mouse down. So I unclick, Control Z, and it does it. If I had unclicked and clicked again, that's not one undo. So I have to do other things if I mess up. They're easy. Okay. So I could do some image adjustments on it. See, these are the tools. But if I want to perform a sophisticated control, I go up to Image Adjustments, and it gives me a whole bunch of options that I can do here. I can take the brightness and contrast of this selection. All the tools in Photoshop, they're so wonderful, they're all slider bars.
Okay.
So brightness, if I took it to the right, it's going to get brighter. I go like that, and I go the other direction, and it turns bright.
I see.
Okay, so we know that brightness, lightness, things like that. If I can't get it quite on 0, hit my little number key. Contrast is the range of tones between black, black, and white, white. All the values in between, the shades of gray.
Brightness.
And
Okay.
yeah, and that's
Is that what you said? Brightness or contrast?
contrast.
Okay.
Even you have a color image, it's still gonna think in that way as a value. Black, black, and white, white.
Okay.
And all the shades in between, so
Yes.
they'll be that color. Okay, so I'm like, okay, let's try this. We go up on it. We see that the image gets darker and it's more vivid. It's starting to be saturated.
Okay.
And the range of tones between black, black, and white, white, there's starting to get fewer grays in there. And so that makes it really pop out.
Okay.
And if we go crazy on it, let's see if we can go crazy. I can't go. If we go crazy on lowering the contrast,
Sure.
we get down to
All the
hardly
grays.
any. Okay. So I go, okay, let's do that. I click OK. If I go, ooh, bad idea, I click cancel. And so let's say, let's just cancel. And then we go
And
back up to
it
image
does it.
adjustments, and we check out some of these. And we go and we have some words we don't quite understand. Hue and saturation, let's click on that. Slider bars, saturation, whoa, bad idea. Unless that's what we want.
Right.